is V in post-production. Before we jump into actually introducing the episode, I did want to give a content warning to this episode. The Nanny Affair is rated 17 plus on the app, which is something that I had forgot to mention during the initial recording. So just know that in this episode we will be discussing sexual and explicit content. If that is something that makes you uncomfortable, then I would encourage you to join us on a separate episode. Another note is that there are some slight audio technical issues that we didn't realize in recording. It's only something that I noticed in post. So if you do hear any sort of crackling or static, just know it's not your device, it's us. It's an audio issue that we came across. Fortunately, I think you can still understand the conversation, and it doesn't happen too frequently, but if you do hear some audio issues, just know that that's coming from our end. But I don't think it should actually impact the flow of the discussion. All right, let's jump right in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Play Choices Podcast, a podcast you hear. I'm your host, V.
Hi, guys. I'm the co-host, Lucas.
So if you're listening right now, I want you to take a screenshot and tag us in it. We're at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, and Play Choices Pod on Twitter. I will say, I love seeing everybody's reactions to the episode. I love when people listen and they put oh, we really loved this discussion point. We really laughed at this part, and they tag us in it. It's my favorite part of a Saturday is seeing everybody's reaction, saying, oh, I went on a walk when I listened to this podcast and I laughed at this part. It's my favorite part of managing the social media for this podcast. Secondly, we have mentioned this before, but we literally make pennies to the hour for this podcast. I know y'all hear that ad. We have exactly one ad right now. I know y'all thinking oh, they make, no, we don't. No, we do not. Here's the thing, y'all. I would say less than 10%, and it's probably even smaller than that, of podcasts actually make money. Making ads is just not really a way that we can depend on monetizing the podcast. If you have a podcast yourself, you know that shit, it's going to take a long time to get ads. It takes a long time to get ads that actually pay you well. And because of the podcast distributor that we use, we get one ad. But I think, we've been recording for 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And that's hours a week of editing and making notes and prepping and making the social media content and managing the social media. We maybe have $13 from ads.
Yeah, and what's even
that's
crazy
nothing.
Is that even the listeners listening to this, we will already have been doing this for 3 months.
Yes, we are probably a good a month and a half ahead in content right now.
Yeah.
So we're putting in fucking work, y'all. We're putting in work. And I don't say this to guilt trip anybody, but I just want it to be known that if you're listening to the podcast, we're not making money off of this. That $13 we've made isn't even enough to pay for the audio equipment that Lucas and I have. I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody. I'm just trying to lay out what it is. So with that being said, if you do want to contribute directly to us, you can via Anchor, which is our podcast distributor. You can go to anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. It's a long URL. It's going to be in the link of the episode. If you feel so inclined, if you feel so kind, you can give us money there. Now, I recognize that not everybody wants to or can do that. But here's the thing. I need a hug, It's COVID. We're in a pandemic. We're in quarantine. Social distancing is still a thing. And I'm out of hugs. So if you want to give me, V, or Lucas a warm hug, if you want to group hug us, tell your friends. Whether your friend plays choices, if they play another visual novel app, or if they just like to laugh, share this podcast with somebody. Share it on your IG stories. Make a tweet about it. Make a Tumblr post about it. I think one of the best things about this podcast is that we go through all of the plot points in the book. So you don't need to read the book to understand what we're talking about. We will literally tell you what happens in it. So anybody can jump into this experience. So if you can donate, go to the link that I mentioned before. If you can't, tell a friend. We're a growing podcast. We love new listeners. We welcome anybody with ears, anybody who can understand the medium. We invite. So tell your friends. And then lastly, you can always email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. And there is a chance that we will read your email live on the podcast. I think we're ready to get into it. We have 3 chapters of content to
3.
go over,
Mhm.
which is unusual, but I will say these are some of the most plotless
Plotless,
chapters
horrible
I've
chapters
seen
I've
I've
ever fucking
seen
read in my life.
in the app, and that's saying something because we have read Foreign Affairs. So
Okay. Yeah, we've read Foreign Affairs.
I will also say before we get into the discussion too, is that I am recording from a new space. I'm moving. We're in this weird in between kind of flux in my life. So I'm recording in a closet right now. So if the audio sounds different, please, I'm trying my best, y'all. So just wanted to add that note in case anyone recognizes that the audio sounds different. So yes, we're going over 3 chapters in one episode because they're just the shortest chapters. I knew that we were going to record multiple chapters in one episode because each chapter in the app has like a time estimate of how long they think it should take. And each chapter was 8 minutes long. And that's when I knew. I said, we gonna do
That was
multiple
so
ones
sad. I said 8 minutes with a diamond scene? That's sad. That
with
is
a diamond
so
scene.
sad.
But here's the thing, Lucas, before we jump into actual content, which I know we've been talking, I think I've said that like 3 times before. The listeners are probably like, fucking come on. Like, let's get to it.
We're just
But
edging you guys.
we're edging. You know what? We love kink play. So
We don't kink shame on this podcast.
we do not kink shame on this podcast, except for the time that I made fun of literally every boss and employee relationship ever. But that was a one-time thing, okay?
That's personal. We're talking about personal preference here, okay?
Personal preference. We listen. If you love a toxic relationship, I can't stop you. You go for it. If it makes you nut, then it makes you nut, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just saying my personal.
Okay, if it makes you spend 30 diamonds, it makes you spend 30 diamonds, sis.
Exactly. You know what, and there's no shame in your game. But what something that made me laugh because as we're recording this, April 18th, which is it's gonna be funny to see when we actually put this out because I feel like we have pre-recorded so much shit that I almost don't even know how far ahead we are anymore these
No, like,
days.
I'd be looking forward to my own voice on Saturdays. Like,
Yes, because I be listening and editing this podcast and I'm like, I forgot what the fuck we talked about last time. Like I just forget. So it's so interesting because the podcast is going to be coming out next Saturday. Is going to be the part 2 of our choices chat with Kath. And I was editing that podcast and it was so funny because we recorded that before the Nanny Affair, the first chapter
mhm,
episode came out.
mhm.
And there were so many times during that episode with Kath where you and I made a comment saying the Nanny Affair episode is going to be the thing that cancels us. That's
Yes. Oh,
and you know what?
fuck. Oh my god, that was so long ago because we were talking about the employee-boss relationship. Oh my
Mhm.
god.
We swore up and down that was going to be the end. And somehow, bitch, we still here. We survived to record another episode of 2 through 4.
I wish that I can say that this, podcast right now is gonna be as controversial as the first episode, but bitch, ain't nothing went down these next fucking 3
There's
episodes.
literally dust. Like when I
That's
cough, it's dry. That's how just so dry these chapters were. And I will say that the thing that is intriguing to me is that I'm like, so either like the episode wasn't as problematic as we thought it was, or our listeners are just as problematic as we are. It's one of the two. Like, you guys get to decide do you think the last episode we did of the Nanny Affair is problematic? Are y'all just as fucked up as we are? Like, I'm
I
curious.
love that. Let's shift the blame here a little bit, okay?
Let's victim blame to That's right. If you support us, you're complicit. All right, let's move on before I further isolate our listeners. Let's actually jump into the content. So again, we're going to start with the Nanny Affair Book 1, Chapter 2. This chapter is titled The Fight. Now, as a reminder, the MC's default name is called Anna, so we're going to be referring to MC as Anna for the duration of this episode. So the chapter summary for Chapter 2 says, when a misunderstanding causes sparks to fly between you and Sam, will the truth come out? Now, I'm not sure what truth, because I don't think there's been any secrets.
No. Unless they're talking about the forced decision upon us where we had to break a rule, which, like, that would imply that we had a chance to hide it and we didn't. So there's no, like
From my perspective, like these chapter summaries are meant to entice you before you open the chapter. So up to this point, someone who hasn't played chapter 2 doesn't know that that's a plot point.
true.
So
Yeah.
from my head, I'm sitting here, I'm like, what happened in chapter 4 that was a secret? That we're attracted to each other? I mean, Sam's dick or pussy is already on when we meet them. Like immediately Sam wants to fuck us. That's not a secret. We all know we're making bedroom eyes across the dinner table from Mickey and Mason. Like we already know this.
Okay. And
So
as a reader, we understand that this is a single LI book. So we are no I mean, we're like there's no mystery behind who we
there's
gonna
no
go after.
mystery. There's no mystery. And what's the other secret? That Sam's engaged? Is that supposed to be a secret? I mean, I guess.
I mean, like maybe it's he tells you the truth of his engagement, but again, that was public knowledge.
It's public knowledge. Like fucking TMZ leaked the damn article on that like the night before. It's not a secret. Like I'm sometimes the way the Choices advertises these contents, I just be getting a little, little turnabout. But anyways, so the last time we left off on chapter 1, we left off on a cliffhanger that Sam is engaged. So we learned that the fiance's name is Sophia Russo and that they are an it couple of the business world and are apparently very high profile. High profile enough that there was an expose article written about their engagement. So Jenny, who is Anna's best friend, Jenny will ask Anna if she's okay upon learning this news. Now my question is, why the fuck wouldn't Anna be? I'm confused.
Oh yeah. V, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
They just did one interview. They
One
they
interview. I
literally
got the
had one
job. That's
interview.
it. That's it.
You got the job and you were notified that you're moving in. Like these bitches are this y'all have to remember. This is the next morning after the interview, if I'm remembering the pacing correctly.
Yeah, it
So
is.
like she got interviewed and then she went home, started packing to move out of wherever dusty ass place she's staying. That shit looked like a dorm room. And I'm sorry,
It looks like
I
a
didn't need to
dorm
shit.
room.
I didn't need to shit on Anna like that. I'm sorry, that was a call for.
But like obviously we see why she had to take this job because she's not doing well for herself.
If she couldn't afford that room, I'm concerned. I just there's some shit going on that I'm worried about. So this is literally like we haven't even reached the 24-hour mark of knowing Sam, and Jenny's over here like, babe, are you gonna recover? Bitch, she better be okay because I can't afford to be so far deep into this wanting their genitals that I will collapse upon the news of learning that they're engaged. It can't be that deep this early. So the next morning, Anna will go to Sam's building and we'll meet Carter, who is Sam's personal driver, which is great because I think in the last episode we literally were talking about, is Anna gonna
Yes.
have to pay for her own gas or her own car?
Yes.
And we know that she's not. Well, in this episode, there's some transportation concerns. We'll get there. But at least we know that Sam has a personal driver, right? Sam will peek, their head to welcome Anna while she is unpacking, specifically her lingerie, okay? So this is an opportunity to either hide the lingerie or to let Sam see the lingerie. What did you do?
Here's the thing that pisses me off. Here we go. Oh, child. The options are so forced and like you romanticizing Sam. Like, and I understand that like he is
Mhm.
the only ally, so of course it's like inevitable. But like I didn't want to like rush into like being a homewrecker. Like
Mhm.
obviously down the line we're gonna get together, like it's inevitable. But I was like, let me
Mhm.
just be myself. Let me like kind of focus on the kids, focus on my job. So obviously, like I wasn't gonna hide it because that's just so like we're adults. Like obviously, I am a gorgeous woman. I'm gonna have sexy underwear. I don't feel the need to like hide it and be like, oh my god, like now you know I'm not a prude. So I
Well,
picked the
also it's
other.
like he busted into your room.
Yes,
Can you not?
yes,
Like,
yes.
the fuck? This isn't the 16th century where you're like royalty running into the help's room. Like, bitch, like, you better give me some fucking privacy. But the thing
Exactly.
that annoys me is that Anna, like, you trying to, I'm sure from that perspective, you're like, no, I'm not about to hide it because I'm a grown ass woman. Like, what the fuck do I look like? But from that choice's perspective, it's like Anna's like twirling the lingerie around and being like,
Exactly. 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 I'm like, these decisions are either like black or white, and can I get some gray? Because it's either like, oh my god, hide it, I'm a prude, or like, no, baby, like you think this is lingerie? I'm not even wearing anything right now. Like,
Exactly. She's like sliding her fucking skirt up so you can see her pussy lips, like from the get go. And
like
it's just
she
like,
about to do all the talking, not me. Like, I just
it's,
can't.
yes, you said I have two pairs of lips.
And this is every freaking episode, and it's sad that these decisions are the plot and not the actual story.
Oh my god. We might as well just go ahead and end the episode right here because that's the
You
whole
heard it here
point.
first, folks, okay?
These next, let me tell you, the reason why we're doing 3 chapters in one episode is because there's no fucking plot. It's just Anna's wet pussy talking. That's all it
That's
is.
it, that is it, and it makes me so mad because even if you pick the decisions that's like, "No, I wanna focus on myself," her internal monologue is like, "Fuck his fiancé, he need to come get this pussy," and I'm like,
He need
"Jesus."
to go get this pussy.
She over here like, "This pussy purr, I make this pussy purr." Like, I just can't. He
English,
calling me to
Spanish, and
purr.
French.
Over here like, "Doja, this pussy talk diamonds, mirrors, and this."
These next 3 chapters are literally just Sam and Anna just being horny from a look. from
From a
this is, I
fucking
think,
look.
like when we went to school and there were all of these like you're not allowed to show your shoulders, no spaghetti strap tops. Like I'm realizing those rules were put in place for these two because at this point Anna could show her fucking ankle and Sam would be looking at it
Literally,
like, oh,
literally.
it's so sad. Alright, before we move on to the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt to plug our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram and at Play Choices Pod on Twitter. You can also go to playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com for our Tumblr page, which is where I post any episode notes that I have, like links to posts that I've mentioned, photos I've mentioned, or more. We're also available for listening on all major platforms, so if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. It's a funky thing with the algorithm that helps us a lot. I wish I could explain it more in depth, but I just know that it helps us, so we do appreciate any reviews that you leave us. And as always, we are a growing podcast, so if you see us pop up on your socials, we do appreciate a share, a retweet, or a reblog, depending on the platform you see us on. We also appreciate it when you share our podcast with your fellow choices-loving friends. And now back to the episode. So, okay. So, yeah, Anna's pussy lips talking to Carter saying, hey, I'm so glad he's rich enough to have a driver. I will say, no matter whether you decide to let Sam see the lingerie or hide it, like, Sam doesn't really make a comment, but you get this little, like, plus desire. It's so fake. I don't understand this plus desire shit. Like, we ain't gonna fuck Sam anyways by the end of this book. Like, I could literally do nothing and Sam would be staring at me.
No, like, literally.
This plus desire shit is pointless. We all know it's a single LI book.
And it's so crazy that this book is predominantly made to obtain money because the diamond scenes are completely worthless. Like, you know you're gonna
Oh, literally no. There's no content. And we'll definitely, like, God.
and so, like, you know you gonna fuck him, you don't have to spend diamonds, like.
Exactly. Like, there's literally no need to spend diamonds whatsoever. Once you get past the whole lingerie hoobleoo, Sam will mention that they have a PR nightmare to deal with, which has caused them to go into the office. And I guess we're left to assume that this is about the engagement news leaking to the press. The question I have is how often are business people really in the news with leaks about their personal affairs? Like the last time that I could think of like a business person being like a TMZ article is like Jeff Bezos' divorce. But like it happens so
Yeah.
infrequently. This idea of there being like the it people in the tech industry that like there are people who are looking to like break the news about their personal life. Like I feel like I'm not going to say it's unrealistic because it does happen. Like I said, we have Jeff Bezos, who's an example of, you know, a person who everybody was in his fucking business and he was getting a divorce. And so I think it just puts it kind of into context, like how rich and famous the Dalton and Russell families are. For them to be getting this much clout for a business, it's just not normal, I would say. So there has to be something like extraordinary about the valuation of their companies to make it worth an article, you know?
Even the maybe his family dynamic is a little weird because we figure, some stuff out later on talking to his
Mhm.
younger brother. But,
Mhm.
yeah, normally, like, that would not happen in a real life setting.
No. No. Like most business people are now out here trying to like hide the news of their engagement. Like that's a very specific and peculiar thing that isn't a normal or most people would not care about. So after Sam talks about needing to go into the office for an emergency, Sam will give Anna a set of rules, and the rules they're very specific. Like I'm not a parent, so maybe I shouldn't be judging.
That's
But
exactly my train of thought. When he said this, I was like, "You're weird," and I was like, "You know what? They not my kids. They not my kids."
Mhm. It was like no toaster tarts, no taking the subway, yada yada. I was like, okay, this is very specific. So Anna can comment that the rules are either strict or reasonable, but the conversation is interrupted by a really large noise that comes from the kitchen. The boys are like working on their like faux science experiment, making a goddamn mess. So yet again, this job continues to prove it's a fucking nightmare. The boys are disappointed when they learn that Sam has to leave, but they do perk up pretty quickly when Anna says that they're going to visit the planetarium on their first day together. During the visit to the planetarium, the boys will pull out toaster tarts, which is like the choicest version of Pop Tarts. And Sam specifically mentioned not to let the boys eat these, but Anna can choose whether or not to let them eat them. What did you choose?
You talking about the knockoff Pop Tarts? I didn't let the kids eat them.
Okay, you did not let them eat them.
Mm-mm.
You scared of Sam?
No, listen. He said, "Don't let them have them." He gonna fire me over a Pop Tart. I'm not about to get fired over no damn Pop Tart.
I let them have them.
Oh my god! Wait, you heard it here first, folks. Do not leave your children with me.
First of all, in the last episode, you were Mr. Plot to kidnap the kids, so I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit about nothing about these kids, okay? Like, listen, man. When I was younger, my mom had me eating Pop Tarts, Velveeta, toaster strudels. I turned out just fine, okay? Like, I just don't really believe in like restricting kids' diets that much. Like I think like what ultimately ends up happening every single time I talk to someone who restricts their kids' diet, every listen, if you had a home where you had like Welch's fruit snacks, Scooby snacks, sugary
Ooh,
cereal, if
ooh.
you had all that, because I know you love the Scooby snacks, bitch. Me and you be munching at your house.
Yes, yo, yes.
But if you had that shit in your house, we all had that one friend who wasn't allowed to eat that shit, and they would come to your house, and when I tell you, they will clear your pantry. Kids who can't eat sweets are fucking vultures, okay? And that's why I think you should allow your kids to have sweets every now and then because they be going fucking crazy. So yeah, I gave them that toaster tart. I said, how he gonna find out? I said, y'all keep it quiet. Because you know, if you keep it quiet, you get to do what you want to do. There's benefits, there's levels to this shit, okay? So you keep it quiet and it's going to be a good partnership. So yeah, I'll let them eat them toaster tarts. I wasn't about to restrict their diet. And what the fuck do I, because here's the thing. If I confiscate those toaster tarts, you know where they're going? In my mouth. I'm going to eat them. So what the fuck do I look like trying to take it away from them? So okay, so you were obeying Sam. You're like, I'm not about to lose my cash flow for some
Exactly,
toaster tart.
exactly. I
I
said, "I
took the
got a
risk.
personal driver. I'm not about to give that up."
Oh my god. Well, Carter was slipping a little bit in this. We'll talk about it. We'll talk
You're
about
right,
it.
you're right.
So Sam will text Anna to check on the boys, and then Jenny will text Anna with more details about Sam's fiance. Anna will text Jenny back saying that she doesn't have the time for this right now. My question is, do you think Jenny is being a good friend by like blowing up Anna's phone with all these details about Sophia?
I just feel like she's just trying to add drama to make her life more entertaining. Like she's trying to live like vicariously through me because I can't imagine any scenario where a friend would actually like care this much
Mm-hmm.
a situation like this.
Like, could you imagine me doing this shit? Like, you're like, oh, my boss is like kind of attractive, and like I'm blowing up your phone, being like, look at information about their fiance, the boss that you met like 2 days ago.
Yeah, like it just wouldn't be like it would literally never be this deep. Like I would literally be like, yo, like my boss is hot. He's like kind of like attractive. And you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, like cool. And then like we would like drink wine and talk about
Yeah, like it
like
just doesn't
the
matter.
fact
Like,
that this is like a crucial plot point, they're just like reaching for shit to like put in the chapter.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I appreciate the presence of Jenny because I feel like there's a lot of choices books where they say that we have a best friend, but we end up never seeing that bitch. So I appreciate her presence, but I'm also like, why are you pushing your friend to like become jealous over a fiance of a boss of a dude that she met like 2 days ago? Like, I don't understand what the applying pressure thing is for, and it's very confusing to me. Like, also, I feel like when your friend tells you, like, yo, I don't have time for these text messages, you just gotta understand, you gotta back off.
Yes, yes.
Like, that's not the time to be in their ear trying to. I didn't like all that now. I didn't like all that. To me, Jenny, I'm like, you've gone a little bit too far with all of this. So the twins will complain about being bored at the planetarium, which these spoiled ass fucking brats. We learning about planets and space, and these little brats are like, I'm bored.
I'm bored.
I'm bored. So there is a diamond option to take them to Central Park, but it also kind of becomes like an opportunity to kind of grill the boys about Sophia. Did you take this diamond option?
No, because I'm not spending no diamond option on no kids.
No kids. And you know what? If I'm being paid to take care of them, why I gotta pay to take them to the park?
Yeah, right.
And like, really, what do these kids? They're little kids. They're two little boys. Like, why am I grilling these children about a fiance? That is so inappropriate to me to like look at children and be like, those are the FBI informants. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna take them to the park, bait them with some toaster tarts, look at some constellations, and ask them some questions about their future stepmom. Like, that's very weird to me. So I will say, I don't know how much the actual diamond scene was. I didn't write that down, but if I had to assign a diamond valuation to it, it should have been like 3 diamonds. Like, the scene was so short. It's just like Anna and the boys looking up at the sky and looking at some stars. The only thing that we learn is that they don't like Sophia and that Sophia and Sam just started dating like last December or something. Now, we don't actually know. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean to me from a timing perspective because we didn't get like any time of the year that this was. Like, I'm like, how long ago was that? It could be April, it could be March, it could be July. I don't know how long that was. Like, and I've seen people get engaged after like a month together. So this whole like, oh, it's so short, that must be a hint. It's like I've seen people claim that they're in love and get engaged a month after meeting each other. So I don't really feel like I gained that much information from the diamond scene.
Yeah, that was a waste.
It was a waste. It was a waste. It was a clear cash grab. So Anna and the boys will leave the planetarium, but Carter isn't answering his phone and they can't get a cab. And Anna will reluctantly take the boys in the subway, breaking Sam's rule. I really don't know what other alternative you had. Like, if he's like, oh, you have Carter, and then Carter doesn't pick up when you call, and then your phone dies and you can't get a cab, like, I don't know what the expectation is.
Yeah, truly.
Like, she's just trying to get the boys home. So as soon as the boys get into the apartment, I mean, these little motherfuckers, they get into the apartment. They're like, "Hi, daddy, mommy, whatever gender you pick for Sam. We took the subway."
Yeah,
I'm like,
these
could we
fucking snitches.
like? That's the thing. I'm like, did Anna not have a conversation with the boys on the way and be like, "Listen, your dad doesn't want you in here, so can we all just agree to keep fucking quiet?" I'm like, damn, you gonna tell them about the toaster tarts next? Is that what you're gonna do? You just gonna open up all the snacks I'll let you have? You gonna open up that we left the planetarium, went to Central Park? Where, what are you about to snitch on me next? So we get like no time, zero time to try to hide anything from Sam. Anna will put the boys to bed and then go speak to Sam in the kitchen. So Sam is pretty upset that Anna broke their rules about the whole subway thing. They will start to have an argument, and Sam will express, their concern about the boys and Anna's well being. I guess it was like a safety concern about them going on the subway. Anna will say that Sam needs to find an outlet for their emotions, and Sam will ask if they have any suggestion of how to let that go. It ends up being a diamond scene to kiss Sam. Did you take the scene?
No. Mm-mm. Again,
No.
guys, he's the only ally. I'm not about to pay for diamonds to speed up the inevitable. Like, it's gonna happen. He's gonna be mine regardless. So definitely this early on.
Yeah, no, it also seems inappropriate to be like, you're angry, come here and just, just like, just let me assault your mouth. Like, it's, it's so inappropriate. Like, you're literally, how are you going to look at your boss and be like, yeah, I blatantly broke a rule? Sam is heated because they're upset about you breaking a rule that jeopardized, the children and your safety or whatever from their perspective. And then you're looking at it like, listen, bitch, I got the kids home safe and I did what I had to do to get them home on time. How is that a conversation in which you're like, I want to kiss this motherfucker
That's just
so
like
bad?
a bad scene from like 50 Shades of Grey. Like, you wouldn't
No.
do that in real life.
We need to move away from romanticizing anger. Can we stop doing that? Like, that's not a healthy thing. Like, every single time you get upset to sexualize it, like, that's very
Yeah.
unhealthy. Say if you do take it, it's just basically like kissing and heavy petting. Like, it's a lot of like no plot porn dialogue,
It's soft
basically.
porn. Got it.
It's like softcore porn, basically. Sam will try to stop the encounter multiple times, but Anna will like continue convincing them to keep going, which again is like problematic. Like if someone's like, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this, like stop trying to coerce your way into Sam's pants. Like this is so bad. It's just terrible. And then Sam's phone will ring because Sophia is calling them. Anna will ask if they can chat after Sam is done talking to Sophia, and Sam will say that that's not a good idea. Anna will be shocked and think to herself that she is in trouble. So that's the end of chapter 2. The question I have for you is I feel like we already kind of talked about this a little bit, but do you feel like this argument added to the story, and is the conflict believable?
No. To both. No. Hell no.
You said no all around.
It didn't add to the story because what narrative are we trying to play that like, oh, Sam is worried about his children? Like, of course. Like, that's just been. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that being a plot point. And then the whole plot point of like, not only am I like worried about my children, but I'm worried about you specifically. Help. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's so many different reasons why he could worry about her platonically, but of course they're gonna like romanticize that.
Like saying you're worried about someone's safety doesn't have to be like, I'm worried about you because I want to fuck you on the couch.
Like, I want you to be
it
their
doesn't have to be
stepmom.
romantic. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be sexual nor romantic. It doesn't have to be any of those things. And I just feel like if you were going to have a big fight, like a big blowout in the kitchen, like it just makes more sense to me. Like I feel like they could have spent 5 more minutes writing up a plot that made more sense.
Yeah, and not to mention him wanting to argue like automatically with her in front of the children just again romanticizes the feel of her being a stepmom, which is not what that needs to be right now.
Like it's very clear like they came up with some stupid rule they could write a plot around where Anna breaks it and then they come home and it's like this whole plot where it's like the passion drove them to like admit their attraction to each other, which like is so fucked. Like and it's fucked up too because Sam trying to pull away and trying to be like, this is inappropriate. Anna's like, no, fuck me on the countertop. Like, it's so bad. It's just, I was like, oh God, there's nothing about that. And it's not even like a good, like, they be charging, like, listen, did I write down how many diamonds that scene was? No. But they be charging like 18 diamonds for this scene where you unbutton his shirt. Like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
this should be pissing me off. So I will say, compared to chapter 1, are you more or less into this romance up to this point?
I'm still just like completely like not into it. If Sam just came up to me
Okay.
and was just like, "Hey, yo, like I'm really attracted to you," and it confuses me, and like I'm not happy in my relationship, that would give me more of like a plot and more of a stronger feeling and connection to him than this like blow by my ear so I can nut and then go to sleep. No, I'm not.
Yell at me and unbutton my
Yes.
pants.
Tell me that I'm a bad parent. Show me that you care about my children.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny because I remember like enjoying this book like on my first playthrough, but then I'm like, when did I start enjoying it? Because I don't think it was up at this point. Okay, and then lastly, we got some one-on-one time with the boys. Do you like the kids more or less after this
Ironically,
chapter?
more. More. I'm not here to like,
Mhm.
to play stepmama, but like the boys, I like them a little bit. I do. I like them a little bit. I like their dynamic. I like their
Mhm.
cliche. Let me put it that way. Their like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
twins, competitiveness, playfulness. Like I like that cliche as opposed to like every other cliche in the story.
Yeah, they're also like opposites to each other. Like, isn't it Mickey that's like kind of like the bad kid and
Yes.
he's like very rambunctious and Mason is the one, or is it the other way around? I'm fucking them up.
We'll find
But
out this chapter.
one of them's very like nerdy, just very like by the book. And then there's another one who's like more kind of like role breaker, kind of risk taker one. And it is kind of cute to like watch them like tag team a scenario. They're endearing. I will say that, like, out of all of the elements that we've been introduced to.
And that's so funny given our first initial thoughts about just children in general in the first episode.
Mhm. I mean, no, they're little shitheads. Let's
No,
get
yeah,
that
yeah.
straight. They are little shitheads.
But at least they're consistent.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, before we get on with the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt with some plugs. So you can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. If we haven't convinced you yet, listen to this amazing, amazing commercial that Lucas and I put together for you. It
In
takes
the
me
arms
hours.
of an angel.
It takes me, no, keep singing. It takes me
I
hours to record. No, keep doing it.
Here
It takes me
are
hours to record and edit this podcast.
wherever you
And
are.
with your donation
I believe
of
that
$1 a
my
month
heart will
could save me from
go
smashing her fucking head
on.
into a wall.
Why does the heart
Thank you
go?
so much. And back to our episode. So, okay, let's go to chapter 3. This is called The Birthday. The chapter summary says it's Sam's birthday and you're making sure it's one to remember, but there are a few surprises in store for you two. So, we learn in the beginning of chapter 3 that it has been a few weeks that have passed since Anna and Sam's fight, with things finally starting to calm down. Now, I don't know what a few weeks is. Let's discuss this. A few weeks to me is 4 or more weeks. I feel like most people, if it's been 1 to 3 weeks, will just say it's been a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well, I feel like a few weeks can only be defined as 3 weeks because a couple, yeah, like 1 to 2, a few 3, 4 weeks. Wouldn't you just say a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say it's been 3 weeks. Let's settle on 3 weeks. Why y'all still beefing over the subway shit? Y'all live together. Y'all literally live together. She sleeps down the hall. You see her every day. She takes care of your children. The fact that there's still some like weird tension over this rule break is very weird to me because let's get this
Yeah.
straight. That was Anna's first day on the job. If she really pissed
Yeah.
you off that much, she could have just fired her right there on the spot. So the fact that he like acting this tense but he hasn't fired her is like, boy, just fire me at this point. Like I'm not living with someone down the hall where he mad at me for 3 weeks in a row over a subway trip. I'm not doing that. Like, there's this like fake like tension they write into
Yeah.
the plot that I don't like. Like, it's just miserable. Like, I feel like 1 week okay, but after 1 week, like I feel like I would be like, Sam, can we talk? Because like I just feel like we need to get past this at some point. Like, you either need to fire me or we need to move forward. So the boys will be in the kitchen beginning of the chapter, and they are kind of like wondering what they're going to get Sam for their birthday. Sam will walk into the kitchen and will make a comment about you're not really wanting to make like a big deal about the birthday. Anna can warmly welcome Sam, but I do personally feel like just going through the dialogue of the scene, you can tell that there's some distance between them. Like in previous chapters, there's been like this like warm kind of like sexual energy between the two of them, and I will say in this chapter, it's more like friendly professionalism.
Yeah, I enjoy this chapter the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There is like a sort of like professionalism that's between the two of them that is kind of like interrupting that sexual energy. That's not a complaint on my half. I think it's great. I think that's the way y'all should have been communicating with each other from the start. But
Yeah.
it is built out of tension over the last plot from the previous chapter. Later, Anna and the boys will go to the farmer's market to find ingredients for a birthday dinner for Sam, and Carter will suggest that really any dish from gourmet to simple will make Sam happy. So, what dish did you opt for?
See, here's the thing. I feel like I shouldn't have an opinion because, again, why are we romanticizing this? And like, this is more so like a children's thing to do for their father. So, like, whatever the children want to do for their own
Mhm.
dad's
Mhm.
birthday, like, I'm going to agree with it. So, I did like the appetizer, whatever burger shit.
Yeah. You either tell them like we can make burgers. I don't know what the fuck that other dish. Look like some figs on top of lettuce. I don't know
Yeah,
what the
it
fuck
did.
that other dish was, but I have no idea what the fuck that other thing was, but I really do feel like it should be up to the boys of what. But also, the only thing I will say that like maybe Anna should step in as an authority is at the end of the day, like when kids cook food, you know an adult's got to be there. So for me, I'm like, let me pick out a dish that I know how to make, because
Yes, that too. That too. Like, and first of all, like, given her living situation, her dorm that she's staying in, it's obvious that she doesn't know what gourmet is. So
no. For her to unless that's just something she did as a hobby, which we never really got context for that throughout the book. Like, I don't think she has any business trying to make some like fried figs or whatever the fuck was on that fucking dish. Yeah, no. So I went for the burgers personally. Like, listen, I can handle some burgers, okay? I can cook a patty.
okay, I put the cheese inside the meat. Y'all fuck with me, okay?
Right. No, Lucas has some experience where you probably run laps around me when it comes to burgers. If we ever have dinner and it's burgers, I'm like, no, we
Yes.
letting Lucas cook. Lucas cooking this one. The group will go home, but Carter will warn that there is traffic congesting their way, which is leading to an hour-long wait between the farmer's market and the penthouse. So the boys will suggest that they go to the mall so they can get a gift for Sam. Did you take this diamond scene?
Now, I did take this diamond scene. I know
Okay.
normally I say fuck the kids, but I did take this because it's their dad's birthday. I felt a little generous. We were gonna wait anyways. Um, I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, again, like for some reason I'm craving the plot with the children more
Mhm.
than like even because like this felt wholehearted. Like I'm not using them for my personal gain to like further my
Yeah.
um
Yeah, like the last diamond scene, you were like, let me take them to Central Park and like bug them about their father and like their fiance. This one feels more innocent. Also, ain't nobody trying to sit in a car for an hour and entertain these kids. Like, these kids, they got bored at the planetarium. So sitting in a car for an hour,
yes,
they gonna
yes,
be terrible. It, I
yes.
so the diamond scene is 15 diamonds. It's a cute scene. I guess like the boys will get toys for their dad. So Anna can opt to get a bath bomb, massage oil, or a gift card to a personal care shop, seemingly to like help Sam like relax when they get off of work. So back at home, Anna and the boys will prepare for Sam's dinner. The boys will ask to get dressed up for Sam's birthday and will suggest that Anna do so as well. I guess it's like a tradition. So of course, Choices always has to peddle a diamond option to us as far as an outfit goes. So I'm going to send you the photos and we're going to do a skip or splurge or splurge or skip. Y'all, I can
Love
never
this.
remember what order I ever put the fucking words in. There's a diamond option outfit, but then there's also like a free new outfit that you can wear. So let me go ahead. Why don't we start by describing the diamond outfit? I'll let you describe it. The name of the outfit is Birthday Blush. The description is Celebrate the big day with this gorgeous look, and it's 25 diamonds.
Mm, okay. How do I even begin to just? I got this. All right. Okay. So this diamond option. First, we're gonna start off with the accessories. There is
Okay.
a gold. Hmm. It's not a choker because it doesn't connect. It's like a neck piece that hugs her
I
clavicle.
would say is I think you can safely say this is a necklace, even though it doesn't connect. There's definitely like an opening around like the collarbones where they
Yeah,
start.
and that's paired with the bracelet with the same style, color. And there is a glittery pink top of this dress that is a single, what would you call that? A single strap, but there is a split in the.
This is a very, can I just say, audience, this is a very difficult outfit to describe. Like,
It's very difficult because that is a strap, but the strap has like a
it's
cut
like
in
the
the
strap has a
shoulder.
cutout. It's like a one sleeve kind of thing, but it has a cutout on the shoulder, and then even the top portion got a cutout, but there's also fabric on
Yes.
the cutout. Like,
It looks like they ran out of fabric and was just like, we gotta do something. Like we gotta.
right, right. They were like, we have a limited amount of glitter, we have a limited amount of like mesh, so we gotta make this shit work.
And it just like the cutout just stops right as like her breast is about to peek out, right near the
Hmm.
center of the breast. Um,
I don't know where the fuck, because in the plot they're like, oh, Jenny packed this dress. I don't know where the fuck Jenny got this fucking dress.
and why do I have to buy? Like, why do I have to buy it if it's already in my possession? She literally sent me a text message saying she already got the
she,
dress for me. So why the
she,
fuck am I paying for it?
she gave us the dress. She literally just, we didn't even notice it. It was so fucking stupid because Anna's like, I didn't even notice this garment bag. And I was like, didn't you hang it up in the closet? You didn't think to like look at it?
What kind of fucking leasing clothes company does our friend have?
Like, what the fuck is this? Then there's like a mini skirt. The mini skirt got like this mesh. What is this dress?
It looks like like a poor, like a wannabe Jasmine from Aladdin type outfit with like,
Right.
y'all, y'all just
25 diamonds.
now on our notes, post notes on Tumblr, okay?
Mm-hmm. On our YouTube videos, we put the images as we're talking about them. So you can go on YouTube at this timestamp and go look at the outfits too. I really do encourage y'all to go look at either YouTube or the episode notes because this fucking outfit, I don't even, listen, I threw Lucas under the bus asking him to describe
Yes,
this
you
one.
did.
This was
Yes, you fucking did.
this one
I
is
just
so
knew it. I was like, oh my god. I said, I'm so glad that she only like tells. She likes me to like explain outfits with books I'm like more emotionally invested in. So like the moment you started talking about this, I was like, oh, I can just kind of relax a little bit. And you're like, I'm gonna. I was like, yo, what?
this outfit. Also, when you sit down, you're gonna see her whole pussy. That skirt's so short. Like there
It's
ain't
so short. It
that
is.
skirt stops at the bottom of her ass cheek. Like I don't this why? I okay, skip or splurge, Lucas.
We definitely skipping it. It's
We
25.
definitely skipping. We skip. What the fuck was that?
First of all, it's ugly. Second of all, it's 25 diamonds. And I understand that this dress very might as well get her some dick, but like, no.
I feel like you could walk around in a fucking 2 leaves and a cracker, protecting your nipples and your clit from view. And Stan would still fuck you because this man wanted to fuck you in the outfit where you are wearing like cargo shorts and like a t-shirt with a flannel. Like I don't have to wear anything to make this man think that I'm attractive. Like I
And
showed up in
again,
pajamas and to the interview, I showed up to pajamas and he hired me. So I really feel like the stakes are very low.
a fucking family dinner, and she out here dressed like she. This is her fucking outfit for her.
Going to the Met Gala. Why you dressed like that? Like it's a family dinner. Y'all eating in the same dining table. Y'all eating every night. Like,
Hey, we made burgers. Why the fuck?
right? We gonna be dropping the fucking mustard on our chest, on the glitter.
Like,
We
come
fucking like
on.
wet tomato just landed on your fucking titty, your glittery titty. And then the free outfit, which obviously we went with, it's called navy blue. The description is literally a simple alternative, and it's just a dress. There's like a is that like a halter top kind of style? How would
Yeah,
you
I
even
would
describe
say.
this? Okay, we're gonna call it a halter top. I might be wrong. I'm not gonna look it up, but it's like a cross neck like strap that goes around the neck the chest and the shoulders are exposed, and they're like it starts to flare out into a skirt around the waist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine dress, you know. It's basic. It's not ugly. It's not super cute. It's okay and totally acceptable. I feel like in this circumstance.
Yes,
So clearly we both skipped because I don't know what the fuck that outfit was.
truly.
So Anna will pull the food out of the oven as soon as Sam gets home. The boys will urge Anna to distract Sam so it doesn't ruin the surprise. This is where I get confused. The dinner's already done. What surprise is being ruined?
Yeah, and just this whole like again, what did I say in the beginning? This book was just made to steal people's diamonds because why do I have to pay diamonds? We'll get there. Go ahead. Say what the fuck happens next.
So Anna, I'm taking orders now. So Anna will go to greet Sam, and Anna will meet Robin Flores, who is Sam's assistant. Robin will clarify that they're practically siblings, and Robin will just kind of blatantly hit on Anna. Anna can, reciprocate this flirting, but Sam will get increasingly annoyed and then basically tell Robin to leave. Now, there is a diamond scene. I do want to pause here because at this point, we've just met Robin. Robin's here. Robin is Sam's assistant hitting on Anna. What is your first impression?
Why the fuck is he not a lie?
The question we all have. The question we all have. Can I fuck someone my age?
Right.
Why gotta fuck my boss?
And you know what's so crazy? Later on, and we'll get there, but they make it a point to really discuss his age, and I'm like, damn, y'all do not know how to sexualize this right. Like, like,
No.
and it isn't like Silver Gray Fox. Like, they could play it well because of like who he is and the position he plays and the power and the money that he has. But they were
Yes.
like, oh, when he sits down in the chair, he grunts. That's not sexy. That is not sexy. So when
You about to be a nanny and a caretaker.
okay, I'm about to change my man a diaper. Like what? So when I saw his younger brother, I'm like, the plot is there for you to be able to choose his younger brother who is like living in his shadow, unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, hardworking, didn't get anything. We're gonna get there. I love him, and it just really like, who the fuck wrote this fucking book? I am pissed because it has the potential to be actually a really good book. Like you get an option to be like a auntie or a mom. Like what? This is definitely a pussy plot book. Okay.
Right. During one of our breaks between recording, Lucas and I were talking about the difference between a plot or a pussy plot. Basically, pussy plot is when it's purely driven by sex. Like, it's basically porn with like the least substantial plot I've ever seen, and that's what this book is so far. Like so far, it's literally just pussy plot. Like they just everybody horny. Fucking Robin came in and was looking at Anna's vagina from the beginning. Like I do like Robin. I love Robin's character. Robin just feels like such a breath of fresh air. Like everyone, Sam trying to be faux professional, and Robin rolling up in here like, why y'all so uptight? Like, who's this beautiful ass woman? Can I take her on a date? Like, I love the confidence that Robin has, even though it borders on douchery. But I still respect it. I respect the attitude. I respect the hustle. I really like Robin from the first scene that we meet them. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, theories, or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to specify whether you want to be shouted out or not, otherwise all emails will be anonymous. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't discussed yet, or even questions that you'd like to ask us. Alternatively, you can go to our Ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that it's for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. Sam will attempt to go to dinner, but Anna can try to stop him via a 17 diamond scene. Did you take the diamond scene?
Why the fuck am I paying this many diamonds? Not a surprise. That is not a surprise. Like
Right, Sam already knows. He's like, I have a dinner to go look forward to, so I gotta go. Which again, I'm like, why is Anna rushing to stop this man from enjoying a meal that's already out of the oven? This shit getting cold as we speak, and we gonna
As we
pay
fucking
diamonds
speak.
to make
As
it
we speak,
colder.
I will say this was not a crucial plot point, but I have to bring it up.
Okay.
There's dialogue in between like Anna and the kids are like, I accidentally put too much garlic, and I said that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Okay,
Right. And then she was like, we'll just double the ingredients. I'm like, are we already cooking for 4 people? Like, how many more burgers are we making? How many ingredients did we pick up at the farmer's market?
but no, like the food done. The food is done.
The
And
food is done. Can we just
distracted in the
I'm hungry. Can we
office.
go eat? Can we go
Distracted in the
eat?
office. What's the scene? Like her like pushing him in the office and like taking off her dress? Like I don't understand.
So, great question. Let's talk about it. If you take the diamond option, it's a short scene with Sam and Anna kind of discussing what their favorite birthdays are. And there is an opportunity for Anna to pretend to fall into Sam's lap to stop them from going into the kitchen prematurely. Either way, the scene gets interrupted with Mickey arriving to say dinner is served, kind of stopping the whole diamond scene. So, literally, they just sit down. They're like, "What's your favorite birthday? My favorite one is this. Your favorite one is this." And then, like, Sam goes to get up to go eat dinner. So this Sam is so hungry. Can we just say Sam has tried 2 different times to go to dinner and Anna's like finding out ways to stop. It's so annoying.
It's so crazy
Can
that they
Sam
make
just eat
you
the dinner?
pay for edging.
Basically. Basically. Like you paying $17 to fall into Sam's lap, basically.
Insane.
Doesn't make any sense. So the group will enjoy the dinner with some touching moments. Anna will make a toast, and then we'll hear the elevator ding. And Anna will check to see who's coming into the apartment, and we'll see Sophia. So Sophia will throw her coat at Anna, and it ends on the cliffhanger. So, some questions for you. There are a lot of moments where something kind of seemingly innocent occurs that can add desire, like in the beginning of chapter 3, where Anna can hug Sam when Sam walks into the kitchen on their birthday. Do
Mhm.
you enjoy these interactions? Do they add to the plot and are they believable?
It almost seems believable because of how much forced like sexual pussy plot we are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just in regular dialogue, if you take that desire out, they about to bust. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of ironic that like they add desire over the most simplest conversations because it's just like if that's how you guys are gonna write the plot and the dialogue, then like might as well get something out of it if it's being forced on me. So
Yeah.
it make it more entertaining for me, honestly, because I'm like, cool, I'm getting like participation points for doing something that I normally wouldn't do in a book, but you're not giving me
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, his fiance, she a bitch, and I'm gonna take a man from her. So
Yeah, no. The moment she watched him, she's like, "Are you the help?" and throws the coat. I went,
I said, I will take your man, bitch.
you said, I didn't even want to fuck him to begin with, but I will now. Let's
Yep,
piss you off.
yep. And keep that in mind. Keep in mind of what I just said as we continue forward.
Okay, okay. So let's move on to the 4th chapter. It's called The Fiance. The chapter summary is you have the perfect chance to learn more about Sam's fiance when you spend the day with Robin until things get a little messy. So we pick up at the start of the chapter with Anna welcoming Sophia into the penthouse. Anna can either lead her to the dinner or say that it's kind of weird that Sam didn't invite Sophia. Which one did you decide to say?
Oh, bitch, I went below the belt. I said, oh, it's weird
Oh,
he didn't. Yeah, he hasn't mentioned you, baby. What's your name again?
not at all. You're like, who are you? Why are you just walking in here?
Right.
If Anna does point this out, Sophia will comment that she didn't get an invite because she wasn't sure she'd even be in town. Sophia is very confident and assumes that Anna wanted to know this information because she's curious about the life of someone who is rich and famous. Like, okay, I was gonna ask you kind of off the cuff, what are your feelings about Sophia? But I think we have already defined that you want to fuck her fiance purely out of spite.
Yeah, she a
So,
bitch. Just that last
mhm.
comment, like, oh, you want to focus on someone who's like rich and famous. Like, aren't you supposed to be a business owner? Like, can we be a little bit more ethical and a little bit more professional? Just by the way we carry ourselves, because like, what? Like,
It's very weird. Like, I work in corporate America, so there's definitely some egos in corporate America, but it's just like the way that she's egotistical is very strange to me. I feel like most people who are business people are like, I'm super smart and like I'm a millionaire, so like clearly I did something right to get here. Whereas Sophia's like, I'm beautiful and I'm rich and famous, and you're curious about my lifestyle. Like I feel
Yeah.
like most business people kind of flex about their knowledge in the industry rather than like how flashy their personal belongings are. Don't get me wrong, like millionaires from businesses, they live it up. But I feel like that's not what they brag about when you talk to them. So Sophia will force her way into the dinner. Sam and the boys will be surprised to see her. She gives them like really elegant but overall stale gifts, and she even forgets the twins' names. And Sophia will really suggest that Anna go clean up the dishes, and Anna and Sam will both try to correct her behavior, but Sophia will like literally talk over them, and nothing really productive happens. Anna will storm out and vent to Jenny about Sophia when Sam comes to her room to apologize. So you have to literally you have to pay a diamond option in order to hear this apology. So my question is, did you take this diamond scene?
Again, what I said earlier was I will take your fucking man, and it's just sad to know that like they romanticize an apology. Like, they romanticize everything, and you just know that like every fucking diamond scene is a chance to nut. So like I was like, yeah, let's hear the apology so we can
Mhm.
move forward, and so I can take you from her because who the fuck is she?
Right. I love that your entire mindset has been like, I don't even care about Sam anymore. I just don't like Sophia.
Yes, yes.
So if you do take the diamond scene, Sam will apologize and say they wanted to stop Sophia but was afraid of causing a scene in front of the boys, but that Sam regrets not pushing it further. Sam will say that they talked to Sophia after the boys got put to bed, and then Sam sent her home because they wanted to enjoy the rest of their birthday, which is like very depressing. Like it's so depressing that Sam's like, I'm just trying to have a good time out here, bitch, and she killed the mood. During the scene, you'll get an opportunity to give Sam a massage, but the boys will interrupt before anything gets too heated. If you don't take the diamond scene, Sam will apologize at the door for quote unquote everything, and Anna will internally note that everything must include apologizing for their fight about the rules a few weeks back. So, very interesting. The next morning, Sophia is preparing a frozen breakfast for the boys and reveals that she is taking them out for bonding time. Sophia will order Anna to help plan her engagement party with Robin. I'm not sure why Sophia is ordering us around because like we don't work for her and we're a nanny. Like I'm not a wedding planner. Anna can either say no, ask if Sam said it was okay, or seem excited about spending time with Robin. How did you react?
Yeah, no, I definitely was excited to see Robin. That's exactly what I chose.
You're like, oh, thank fuck, getting out of this
Yeah,
apartment,
no,
away from these boys,
thank you.
away from Sophia.
And again, it just makes it so. First of all, I gotta go on another rant.
Oh,
It's just so fucking weird how like they forced plot with Robin, but he's not an ally. Like I don't understand it. I don't get
I
it because in the real world, if this is a single ally book, Robin should not even be that relevant. Like it's cool, like he could be
yeah.
because like he is the quote unquote like adoptive younger brother, and he has more of a personal aspect to Sam, but
hmm
like we shouldn't be spending time with him.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is very weird because the way that it almost like the way that he's plugged into the plot is like, here's someone who's like openly flirtatious with you. There's nothing like ethically incorrect or in the way of like getting involved with him romantically. But like, it's also up to this point. Like, even at the end of this chapter, you're like, what is the point of me flirting with Robin if like I can't date him? Like,
Yes.
it's very weird, very, very weird. So Anna will go to Sam's office and meet with Robin. We learn that Sophia has multiple lists that she wants Robin to follow, so she's pretty much micromanaged the entire process. The scene will flash forward Robin getting them drinks, and Anna will comment that she's impressed with Robin's work ethic. So just stick with me because there's actually a lot that gets revealed in this like very short scene. Robin will reveal that they're actually the deputy chief operating officer and that Robin lived with Sam and Sam's parents since middle school. Robin will say that Sam was handed everything in life and that Robin, on the other hand, had to work for everything. So it seems like there's some tension between the two. When Anna questions whether they actually had a sibling rivalry, Robin will say no because they owe everything to Sam. And then Robin will end by saying that Sam will become CEO after their father kind of like retires and will marry Sophia. But Robin is next in line in case Sam messes up. One thing to note is that the words next in line and the dialogue is highlighted in Robin's dialogue. So, very, very strong hint that maybe there's an opportunity for Robin to kind of benefit if Sam fucks up.
Exactly.
Like the game went out of their way to note this. So, it's
Yeah.
just something that's pretty interesting. Robin will drop a hint about Sam and Sophia's relationship but end up cutting themselves short. You can buy a diamond scene to learn what Robin was going to reveal. Did you take the scene?
No, I didn't.
Okay. If you do take it, we learn that Sam is engaged to Sophia because of a business arrangement that will merge their companies, which is an agreement that Sam made with their dad. Sam agreed to the arrangement because they already married once for love, and Sam doesn't think that it's possible to be in love again. So, what do you think about this arrangement and just about Sam's overall state of mind?
I understand it. You know, it's so funny because I can understand both sides, but I feel like one side should be more relevant. So let me run through my thoughts, okay? I
Okay.
understand it from a business perspective. Definitely Sam's like way of thinking for them to be like, you know what, like I've had my great love and like, I'm pessimistic enough to know that like that might not come again. So if I can benefit from this, like status wise, financially, sure, like,
Mhm.
great. But the only thing that I don't get from the flip side is why would you do that when you know they have to be around your kids who are your joy and your love and your light? That's what I don't agree.
Mhm.
If Sam did not have children, by all means, sure, fuck it up, get married. But he has children in the mix that he obviously really cares about. And I wouldn't agree bringing someone in your family for a business aspect when they have to like your children and they don't.
It's like if Sophia was a good person, it would make more sense from a personal perspective. To be honest, the way that personally this would make sense to me is if Sam was like, we're getting married, but we're not going to live in the same house.
Yes.
Like
Ab-
that would make way more sense to me
absolutely.
than like trying to force her into the family because like the one thing that Sam seems to prioritize over everything are their children. And the fact that they're essentially agreeing to spend the rest of their life with someone who clearly doesn't care about the kids and doesn't seem to want to get to know them is very weird that they're willing to make that sacrifice of their kids in order to get to the CEO position one day.
Now, this could also, we're just looking at this face value. This could also have more to do with like his relationship with his father, but that's not presented with us. So we are
Yeah.
going off of what we have, and it is a shitty move for them to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's very, very peculiar. Robin will make Anna laugh while telling her a joke, which causes Anna to spill her drink on her shirt. While Robin is helping Anna clean up, Sam will walk in, and the scene is kind of set up to where it looks like Robin is making a move on Anna. And I just overall think there's some like really heavy foreshadowing in the scene with Robin. Like it seems like we're gonna end up seeing them as kind of like a flirtation option. I don't know how serious it's really gonna get because it is a single ally book. So after the scene, do you have any new opinions on Robin?
No, I just really love him. I love his aspect. I love his plot, and I just wish that he was a ally option because it would just really add to the story because of the
Hmm.
oppositeness of him and his brother, which we can
Hmm.
see with the children. So why couldn't
Hmm.
we have an adult version of that we could explore in a non-platonic way?
No, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think that's really all of the content that we were going to go through. So let's do some bingo. If you've never joined us for bingo before, it's literally a bingo format of prompts of stereotypes that we think fit this kind of cliched type of plot line. And we just go through and kind of mark the different stereotypes or cliches that we've come across. And we just see if we can get bingo. And it's a fun time. I did make this bingo. It is kind of cheating a little bit because I have played this book before, but fuck it. I tried to be as impartial as possible. I didn't set up in a way that I knew we were going to hit bingo. So if you want to hear us previously going through bingo. And if you want to know what previous boxes we had marked, go listen to our last episode. We don't give out freebies on this podcast. You got to go give us some plays. You got to give us some listens on the last episode.
Yes.
We're going to start off where we left off last time. Also, if you like to follow along visually, we do have the visuals on our YouTube channel if you like to follow along visually for this part. So let's start off with the first box that we didn't mark. It says MC's boss will offer to break up with his current partner to be with MC. Not true so far.
Nope.
MC or her boss will stop the relationship because they feel guilty about the affair. I don't even really know if they've started anything at this point.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could argue yes, but like, no, we haven't gotten to that point.
Right.
MC will insist that her boss ends her current relationship, but they were resistant. No. MC will use her boss's job as a way to advance her own career. No. MC and her boss will get into an argument over the kids.
Yeah.
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 That happens.
Absolutely.
So we're going to mark that. MC will demand more money or benefits to keep the affair a secret. No. MC's boss will make promises to be with her in the imaginary future. Hasn't happened yet.
Nope.
MC's boss will stay with their partner regardless of their promises for the future. No. The children will pressure their parent and MC to date. No. MC will make a scene at some point and reveal the affair. Again, really hasn't been an opportunity to reveal. The writers will not address the power imbalance of an employee-boss relationship. Here's the thing. Like, do you consider Sam trying to, like, stop the whole, like, sexual interaction in some of the diamond scenes? Like, Sam trying to be like, this is kind of inappropriate? And if you do, is that enough to mark this box?
I do think he is. Again, just because of how many fucking diamond scenes they give you. Like, in order for something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there is resistance in every single one of them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But is it enough to... Yeah, I think it is. Because if you keep doing it over and over again and you still allow it to start, you don't get to applaud the ending every time. Like, that's not...
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you would mark this box.
I would, yeah.
Okay. And just so listeners understand, since I made this bingo, I kind of let Lucas decide like what he thinks qualifies as marking the box, because I don't think it would be fair of me as someone who has read the book and made the bingo to try to dictate what does or does not, right? So we'll mark those two. MC will attend events where it makes no sense why she's there. There really hasn't been an event. The media will find out about the affair. No. MC will horribly fuck up during babysitting. Do you?
I mean, yes, because if he
that?
was mad at you for 3 weeks, yes, because
Yeah, I will say you kind of fucked up if it's been like multiple weeks.
right, Sam was mad at you. They were mad at you for 3 weeks. No, we have to
Yeah.
get Subway and you are in the doghouse.
Yeah. The children will walk in on MC and their parent banging.
Near future.
I guess they haven't fucked yet, but man, we've gotten close on some scenes. Like Mickey, pretty much like the majority of the time why they stop getting like sexual with each other is because like the boys walk in, you know?
Right.
So I don't know if that counts, but we've gotten close. MC's boss's partner will be unaware of the affair. We haven't really gotten to a reveal. MC's boss's partner will know about the affair. Again, we haven't gotten to a reveal. MC and her boss will bang in the common area of the house. Now, they had a scene in the kitchen where they were like, it was the first scene where they were fighting with each other, and it was like, you have the option to take off Sam's shirt and kiss each other and all this kind of stuff. Do you think that counts?
No, because they're not banging.
Okay. They gotta fuck. Okay, gotcha.
They're not 30 diamond scening.
Right, okay. So we gotta get a 30 diamond scene. Okay. MC's boss's partner will agree to deal with the affair and stay in their relationship. Again, we haven't gone to a reveal. MC will lose the kids at some point. No. And then there is a very dramatic breakup. No. So, I mean, we made some progress. We got 3 boxes.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of progress made. I mean, we've marked 3 boxes, but like they're not lining up in a way where we hit bingo. But maybe, you know, where this book is like what, 22 chapters, I think, and we're only on chapter 4. So there's a lot more time for us to hit even more cliches. So
yeah, a lot more time for people to get robbed.
Oh, He said these fucking diamond scenes are highway robbery. Okay, well, that's the end of our episode. We actually did go through 3 chapters worth of content because that is how little substance there was. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you all so much for listening. Thank you for sticking with us week by week. And thanks for not canceling us after the first episode and allowing us to make it an equally problematic
Yeah, we
episode,
appreciate that.
too.
We appreciate that.
We do appreciate not being canceled. So thank you so much for listening. Lucas, thank you for joining me. And we look forward to having a conversation with you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.